Monk on the beat.
What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family, and hop in the Discord, links down below. We won't keep you waiting long, guys. We have quite a bit of Dallas Cowboys news, info, updates, and things to touch on
guys,
as training camp officially kicked off this week.
Yeah, this is a little week recap here, but 4 days of Cowboy training camp. We're going to kind of recap it in one segment here, one show, because the thing we have a little bit of a schedule change going to have to happen, as you'll see in the next couple of weeks. We're going to be morphing to like a more set schedule, probably a Monday and Friday thing. Maybe another one in the week if needed, but then there's also going to be, of course, always the Sunday or whatever the game day live streams are going to be, where you get our reactions throughout the game as we're live. So you're still going to get that, but we'll have the Sundays able to do that, or the game days. I'll definitely make room for that. But the thing is, our schedule's been moved around, work-life schedule and other things. Kids are both in high school now, so a lot of things changed. And we kind of been trying to figure a way to kind of get through it, but man, it's been rough. So with no news, and now with all of a sudden a lot of news, we're gonna try to catch it up in the best way possible here on 2 or 3 times a week at least here on MCF. Oh shit! And
shout out
After
to Skeptical
Dark.
Fan, much love. Showing the love here, officially for the first time tonight, with a gifted membership to, none other than MCF After Dark. So,
After Dark says thank you to the man staying skeptical, and now he has 2 gifted memberships he's divvied out these last 2 weeks, and he's in the lead. Tonight we will crown some champions.
That's right.
So we'll figure that out here in a minute. We'll go through that, but I just wanted to give you guys a little update on the channel, and what kind of the new kind of feel is going to be here on MCF. We're going to have videos, we're going to have a lot of stuff, but definitely live streams have to be slowed down on our side, and it's not anything we can do about it. Let's put it that way. Anyways, as we continue, guys, of course, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell, and let's catch you up on who are the people leading the boards right now, who are the people representing the boards here on My Cowboys Family. And of course, everyone knows Lincoln Kane.
The man LC.
Yes, not 1 but 2 weeks back to back, like our 90s Cowboys, as our sponsor of the week. But that's not all. He's also the king of the cash app for 2 straight weeks back to back. And he's in the lead again tonight for both of those championships. So if he holds it down, I think McLovin's in second, a couple other people in the running, Sko, Marissa, Marco Sepian. But if he holds on to it, it'll be 3 weeks in a row. He'll have his name basically 3. I think he has 3. He'll have 3 bonus memberships, 3 bonus raffle entries for our monthly jersey raffle. So, yeah, keep an eye on that. Lincoln Kane dominating it right now on that side of things. And then when you look at the stream boss, he's none other than the man, Mark Hovsepian.
That's
with
right.
79
A big
points.
mahalo to the man, Mark. Appreciate you, of course, representing there on the board.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's got 79 points?
Yeah. So
big shout out to him. And when it comes to the current champion in the gifting membership side of things, it is Jet Li 44. He's done it 9 out of 10 weeks. That's domination. That's almost 2.5 months of domination. But right now, he's in jeopardy of losing that, because Skeptical Fan has 2 gifted memberships this week, and he is in first place right now. So Mr. Jet Li would have to drop 3 gifted memberships to catch Skeptical Fan and continue his streak, which would go up to 10 out of 11 weeks in a row. Or I guess, a lot of in a rows there, but a domination for almost 3 months from Jet Li. But right now, Skeptical Fan is about to take it down. And that's it. You got all the updates on everything here. I do want to shout out Dwayne Broussard, DB. He dropped $2 thanks throughout our videos that we've dropped. So big shout out to him. Also, on top of Skeptical fans here, in-stream drop for a gifted membership. We also have Harley Dad back in the Navy Blue crew. We also have Dave B dropping some love in the After Dark. These are all the After Dark shout outs here. Dave B, Ready Red, PJs, 41 South, Jet Leaf, yes, 44, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, Skeptical Fan, Grateful Nomad, McLovin, Donald Foster, Big D back in the membership in the Navy Blue, Marissa Sparkle, SCO971, Arkansas, yeah, a whole bunch of people. Oh, William Burney back in the membership. Thank you. Tony Wimbish in the membership. Thank you, guys. Just want to shout everybody out, give the big hellos and thank yous to those on all levels here, on all of our channels throughout YouTube for those drops of love and support. So appreciate you guys on that side. But hey, here we have not been, doing too much on this side of things because, for the whole off season has been kind of slow, but now we're speeding up and hey, pads are coming on soon. That's when the hitting and the realness really gets going in training camp. So anyways, let me go back to this. Big shout outs to those guys repping the boards and everyone who dropped the love so far in this very, no live stream week, I guess you can say here on MCF, but there's different ways to drop the love here on MCF, and you can get into supporting the channel. Also, get into the running on your name on the board, getting some champion representation, and also even if you're the sponsor of the week, you get yourself a bonus raffle entry for the jersey. I'll talk about it in a minute, but there's different ways to drop the love. The super chats, the thanks button from Dwayne Broussard as an example, joining the memberships, and then gifting memberships like Skeptical Fan did earlier. That are the ways you can drop it in the Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Now becoming a member. Why is that, baby? Because
Skeptical Fan said, hold up, wait a minute. I got to show a little bit more love here, gifting another membership. Yeah. Thank you so much, Skeptical Fan. The clear leader there.
Yeah, now he's got a three lead over everyone, really, but a 3 gifting lead over everyone. And I always like to say, Mr. Jet Lee 44, who's the man who currently has been running that board for the last 2.5 months. Well, Skeptical Fan now got 3 memberships. Thank you. Big shout out to Mr. Skeptical Fan. And he's also slowly moving up this board as well. Big time thank you to the man always staying skeptical. But there's an update for him. We'll talk about it in a minute when it comes to his jersey. But
we'll talk about it when we get to the jersey segment here.
But you do see there's 4 different ways, right, of dropping the love, but there's also 4 other ways of dropping the love outside of the YouTube streets, and that's kind of what we do on After Dark. So that's kind of, you'll see some of these guys winning it on the After Dark specials and all that stuff because they drop it through these 4 ways, baby. What are those ways?
You have, of course, the Cash App, Money Sign, MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo app, My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and the Streamlabs link. It lets your comment show up on screen just like a Super Chat would.
So those are other ways you can get on here and get on the Cash App King board as well. Now, always got to shout this out here, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. The star level and over everything level memberships. That's when we do our monthly jersey raffle. If you're in any of those 2 levels, in our membership level, there's navy blue and silver too. But if you're in the star over everything, you automatically enter into this raffle. All the star level members get a raffle entry, and the over everything level members get 2 entries. But we also added the weekly winners. So right now it's been LC for like 3 entries. It looks like if he holds it down for this time around, he'll have 3 entries for the month of July jersey raffle.
Yes, and the extra special part there is Skeptical Fan was our last jersey winner for, I don't know if it was for that, I'm talking like at least...
yeah, he was the last one that we owed a jersey to.
Yeah.
But there's other winners in between.
Oh, no, of course. I'm just saying that he's the latest one as far as ever since we did our recent switch to the MCF jerseys is what I'm trying to say. So he's the first one we've actually got like our hands on, and that's going out to you tomorrow.
Yeah, he's got the Very excited. Yeah, he's got the Zeke 15. It looks fantastic. I was like, damn, this is great. So hey,
Skeptical Fan, I'll be thinking of you tomorrow on my lunch break as I make sure to get that your way.
Yeah, we'll get it out, send it out to you tomorrow, and you'll get it before the end of the week. You should get it before the end of the week.
Oh yeah.
So I can't wait to see that, and big shout out, congrats to one of the winners here of the monthly jersey raffle, part of that star level membership, right? So speaking of that, we always do the nightly shout outs. I know we have Mr. Lavelle in the silver level, which we do. So we do a Fan Friday, we shout him out today, but also we shout out nightly the star and over everything level membership. So who may those people be, baby?
Well, an extra special shout out, Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. The man, Jet Lee 44, LC, Mr. Lincoln Kane, Marissa Sparkle, and the Lunatic.
Yeah, appreciate you guys in the house repping the top shelf membership. And as you heard, those are some of the names you'll see on this raffle coming up. Probably in about a week and a half or so. Probably a week from now. Probably next Sunday, we'll be doing the July raffle and see who's the lucky winner. LC will have his own star level and I think 2 or 3 bonus entries because of his domination on the weekly winner board now it's going to be about 3 weeks if he takes it. So we'll see what happens. Big shout outs to everybody there. Thank you guys. And it don't stop. I know we had a long intro because we haven't been on for 5 days. So now that we've got that out of the way, baby, I think we are ready to kind of go into the news, info, and updates after shouting out who's in the house.
Yeah, gotta say hello and hi to the
Hell
chat.
Yeah.
Starting with Skeptical Fan. Much love to you, of course. Justin Roberts, what's up? Rolando Rodriguez, all the way from South Texas. We have Kenzie Bands in the house. Yeah. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights.
DB.
Larry, formerly known as Mr. Right.
Hey, Larry.
Juan Carlos, what's up? Hello and hi. Asmodeus, all the way from Tennessee. And we'll find a way to finagle that schedule. So, of course, shout out to MCF After Dark, who skeptical. YouTube is weird. I'll leave it at that. So, Bobby Bottles, what's up? Much love to you. Raul, representing. We have even Lee Side Harold, the #1 Dallas Cowboy fan in Houston, right? Rolling back a little bit more. Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett. Doesn't let me go back any further, so let me come back down. I think that's everyone here so far. I'll make sure to keep on shouting out people as they trickle in. But, baby, like you said, we have a handful of things to touch on here from this past week of Cowboys training camp, slowly working their way into practice and stuff. So what's going on with Cowboys? And more.
Well, yeah, it's going to be and more first because we have a couple of things quickly. It's relative to the Cowboys that we must touch on first, and we're going to save the Sam Williams thing. Unfortunately, the Sam Williams thing for one of the final things to discuss here. But let's go through things as from least important, let's say most important. Although everything's important here on My Cowboys Family. Now, I want to speak about one of our former Cowboy players, Randy Gregory. Mm-hmm. He's of course with the Buccaneers. They signed him. He was not at the mandatory minicamp. He was not at the OT. I think he might have been at OTAs, but he was not at mandatory minicamp. Got fined. And then he's not shown up for training camp. So he's been put on the reserve, did not report list. So hopefully everything's okay and he's doing okay because it don't sound like it. And we know Randy Gregory's had his issues in the past with depression and other things. So, we were about to pay him, $14, $15 million a year. Denver got him for that much. Then they cut him in the middle of the year. Niners picked him up, practice squad, played a little bit there. They cut him. Bucks have him. Now he's not even showing up. So Gregory, a headache. That never is going to pan out in the NFL. Now, another former Cowboy, wide receiver, Amari Cooper. We have CeeDee Lamb, who's holding out still. Mm-hmm. We have Michael Gallup, who just retired earlier this week from the Raiders. Just done with football right now.
Wasn't in it anymore.
Yeah, Hart was not in it anymore for Michael Gallup. And both these guys, right? I mean, we obviously have Brandon Cooks. We traded for him last year, but remember the 3 guys we had together for a couple of years was Amari Cooper, Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb. And now with the Browns, of course, we traded him for a 5th-round pick. Amari Cooper has agreed earlier this week to restructure his basically a 1-year contract, guaranteeing his $20 million, and then also adding an additional $5 million on top of that, kind of in guarantees, so that he knows he can be cut at any time. He wants to get as much as he can up front. Again, he was, he earned his 5th.
Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing his thing. We let him go, which I thought was always a big mistake. I said, let's let go of Gallup. Instead, we signed Gallup, who's had an injury, and instead of keeping Amari Cooper, which would have been, I think, the smarter deal. I know the money is an issue, and the Joneses, everything, they complain about everything when it comes to the pie. So Amari Cooper earned his 5th Pro Bowl last year with the Browns. He had a career high, 1,250 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns. He got a new deal from the Cleveland Browns before CeeDee Lamb got a new deal from the Dallas Cowboys. More of the clown show, if I may add.
I'd laugh if it was funny.
Yeah. Not funny. Now, speaking of letting these leaves fall, we talk about CeeDee Lamb and we could talk about that all day. But then you also have the Dak Prescott question, and another leaf. The last leaf has fallen.
Yeah.
2 of them actually. So Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
He and the Dolphins agreed to a 4-year, $212.4 million extension. This was a couple days ago. He's now averaging $53.1 million a year. $53.1 million a year for Tua. and his deal is the highest on a 4-year extension in NFL history. And then literally the next day, Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers agreed to a 4-year, $220 million contract, which makes him the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. Yeah, Jordan Love. So he gets a record $75 million signing bonus plus $155 million in new full guarantees. So, yeah.
Honestly, kind of crazy.
Highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL on a per year basis. Jalen Hurts at $51 million. Lamar Jackson at $52 million. Justin Herbert at $52.5 million. Jared Goff at $53 million. Tua at $53.1 million. Joe Burrow at $55 million. Tied with Trevor Lawrence at $55 million. And now Jordan Love tied for $55 million. It's insane. That means, what do you think Dak's going to ask for? The leaves falling, and Jerry Jones is not a calling. And I don't know. He said he was going to get him signed. We know. He spoke a lot about that. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, on your side of things when it comes to quotes and things.
To be honest, it's not really much of a surprise. But the latest news, as of a few hours ago earlier today, Stephen Jones did say that there are offers out to Dak and CD. But we'll get into the exact details of that.
Listen, when it comes to the money situation, I ain't paying no Dak. I'm hearing people out there, I don't know if it's just a joke, I'm hearing them saying Dak's asking for $80 million. Those are the Dak haters. There's no $80 million coming Dak's way. But $60 million, definitely a very realistic possibility. Dak Prescott right now currently ranks 14th among NFL quarterbacks when it comes to per year salary. 14th in the NFL.
It did not take long to get to that middle of the pack.
Yeah. Now he's getting paid what he should get paid, I guess, to most of the Dak haters. $40 million is his annual salary. Right there are Daniel Jones and a couple other guys. Derek Carr nearby. All these guys are on the same. That's where Dak is at right now in pay. Now, Dak's going to ask for more. So, not $40 million, but he's looking to look over $55 million is my guess. And he's entering the final year of his contract with the Cowboys, who, again, we cannot prevent him from becoming an unrestricted free agent in the offseason. And, Dak has all the leverage. So when that deal comes, whether with the Cowboys or somebody else, he will be number one, in the as far as pay, whether with the Cowboys or somewhere else. Whether you like that or not, it's irrelevant. That's the facts about Dak, and that's where he is in the quarterback market.
Yeah, and more importantly, that's where our Dallas Cowboy team is currently at. We're not really in a position to move on from Dak right at this very moment.
And why are we in this position? Because of the clown show. It's plain and it's simple. And I don't know if they have other thoughts about, maybe not signing Dak. I mean, we heard, if you watch any of my videos on day 3, which is really a walkthrough day, which was yesterday's practice, Jerry Jones spoke about Dak a lot and just said, we're definitely going to sign him. It's just getting to the number and very confident in bringing Dak in. So if that's the case, why are they waiting this long? What's the purpose of waiting? That's what gets me. I don't know. Dak was all ready to make a deal, but he probably wanted 57 or 56 or 58. I don't know. He even said he didn't want to get paid top dollar, like the best quarterback numbers in the league when it comes to pay. But when you see Trevor Lawrence and you're seeing Jordan Love getting paid $55 million, he's going to ask for more than that. So the Joneses just let this once again shoot themselves in the foot. Let this get out of hand. And now Dak is going to be asking for more than those numbers you just heard from Jordan Love and Tua and other guys on this list. So again, why are we in here? Because of the Joneses once again. Jerry Jones claims that he knows stuff about the league that's going to happen when it comes to the money and the salary cap. Why is every other team making moves except for us? That's bullshit from Jerry Jones. That's my point. It's just him just saying it's a way of like, hey, we know something, but they don't know anything, and they're just saying that so they don't have to spend the money on anybody, or in a nice way, maybe let Dak go eventually, right? Either way, the Joneses are a bunch of pussies.
Well, he made it
and
clear
I don't know. I don't really like the way that they are handling this once again.
I know. We'll get to it when we talk more directly about what Jerry and Steven said in the opening conference and all that stuff.
And we will discuss that. But I do think that, unfortunately for the Cowboys, we keep doing this, whether it's CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons,
Thomas
Dak
Garrett
Prescott.
says that his projection for Dak is that he's going to get somewhere around the $55 to $59 million range.
I agree.
I think that range is possible and doable if we're talking a 2-year extension. I have to be honest, I don't think either side is looking to stay longer than that, especially when I don't know, it seems like the tone is a little bit different, but Jerry straight up said it. The reason I was going to say this earlier is Jerry straight up said that one of the reasons he's doing this is because it keeps us relevant and keeps people talking about the Cowboys. Like, he straight up said it. So,
and it's not the first time he said that.
It is not, and it won't be the last either.
Yeah, you gotta hate that Jerry Jones and the way Jerry and Steven, the way they do their business with the Cowboys. It's disrespectful to that star on my hat, to that star on your shirt. It's disrespectful with the star on those helmets.
And Rolando, I absolutely believe Dak is making that much in endorsements, but that's kind of, think of that as his side job, right?
That's not a quarterback
he's still
market.
Looking to increase his primary main salary, which is the quarterback.
When Tua and Jordan Love and all these other guys, Joe Burrow, they get these they might not get as many endorsements, but they still get endorsement deals. Guess what? They don't include those endorsement deals in what Joe Burrow makes per year, or Trevor Lawrence, or Tua, or Jordan Love. That's separate. So that's just two separate things. It's not about how much money you make, because if that's the case, Rolando, you gotta tell Jerry Jones to lower the prices of parking, lower the prices of beer, water, food at a stadium, because he's obviously price gouging the fans. So if he's gonna be able to do that, then Dak should. If he's gonna overprice the market, then Dak should get paid what the market is paying for him. And if he's not gonna get it in Dallas, he'll get it somewhere else. I'm not saying that we should even give it to him. I'm just saying that in the end, what you want is not, what we want is not going to happen. It's not, would you take a pay cut when you can get an extra $5-6 million, you're going to take a pay cut for that? No. The answer is no. Neither is Dak. Neither is Jerry Jones, who only raises his prices every single year for everything. So, Dax is doing what a business person should do. And a businessman will say, I get paid what I deserve, and then I'll make my endorsements as I deserve, as I see fit. That's the way it works. So,
like I said, it's a tricky situation, but the perks of being a Dallas Cowboy, well, it's just the perks, right? You can't put that officially into your contract,
right? And you got no state tax. You got this. You got endorsements in Dallas. The Joneses use that star for years to kind of get players here. It's not working anymore.
Yeah, not the same way.
It's not working. Now players don't want to come here because they don't want to deal with Jerry Jones and Steven Jones. Not because of Dak or the defense or this guy, that guy. Because of the Joneses. Players don't come here because they don't want to deal with the tricky Joneses who try to rip off every single player they deal with. Literally. And then they end up getting ripped off after a struggle and making the player look bad. Especially in the fans' eyes. That's what the Joneses do. And they do this every single time. It's always like this. Unless they want to overpay for guys like Jalen, what's his name? Jalen Smith. Or overpay for guys like Lyle Collins.
For a second, they're going to say Jalen Tolbert.
Or overpay for guys like Michael Gallup. Now, Terrence Steele, question mark. I'm just saying, those are the guys they go after.
Those are some examples.
Guys off injuries, like those two I just mentioned, Terrence Steele and Michael Gallup. That's the way the Joneses move. And that's insanity to me. Now, moving on from Dak, although we'll touch on him in a little bit, let's move on to a face that's not a training camp. And I'll get into this day by day, guys. So just so you guys know, we left you off here on basically Monday. And we knew Tuesday was going to be, we left you off on Tuesday, I think, or it was Monday. Tuesday, they arrived in Oxnard, the Cowboys, checked into the hotel. You guys watched the video on our channel. If you guys are right in line to what what was going on at the time. The next day, it was no videos. It was just the physicals and figuring out, which players will be on the DNP, the PUP list to start the season, the physically unable to perform list. So, those things were getting worked on Tuesday, and then, on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, which was the day they had to announce, they had to check in on Wednesday, but on Thursday they had to announce who's on the PUP list, which we'll do in a minute. Before all that, what happened on Wednesday? Because there's no video, there's no information. Well, on Wednesday, the Cowboys did not hit the official practice field. They had a brief walkthrough on the field, but not with any fans, in private, with no fans and no media. Okay. That was Wednesday after the quick physicals and all that stuff in the morning. Afternoon, they went out there and just kind of walked through a little bit of things. No, just in jerseys or in shirts and just going through some basic bare bones stuff. That was Wednesday. Wednesday also started the official fines. Tuesday started the official fines.
Yeah, if you're not there, then you are square.
It was Wednesday. Wednesday was official fines for a certain player, CeeDee Lamb. If any holdouts, you get fined. Now, here's the key thing, guys. Let me just give you the CeeDee Lamb update. CeeDee Lamb is subject, as we all kind of said already, to $40,000 a day fines. No, that's nothing for CeeDee Lamb because he's going to get in the $5 million range per year from somebody, whether it's us or somebody else. So CeeDee Lamb right now is getting fined $40,000 a day for every practice he misses of training camp. And right now he's missed, he's fined on Tuesday. On Wednesday he's fined for not checking in. On Thursday,
we're live
there's
here
a walkthrough.
Sunday.
Right, yeah. I'm saying there was a walkthrough. That's 2 days. There was another, a Wednesday walkthrough. On Thursday was the first practice day. And there's been 4 days, 4 days of practice to the fans, right, in front of people. So that's like he's already on like 6 days of fines. $100,000, I guess. Or not, I guess not 100, but 46, whatever. $240,000, I guess. Am I getting my numbers right?
I mean, 5 days. If it's
6
on a Wednesday.
days.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
So,
you're right.
We're at $200,000.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's just $200,000 for CeeDee Lamb. But
there is something a little bit different,
right.
though, which gives the Cowboys at least a little bit of negotiating power here.
Yeah. Remember, guys, contracts. I mean, not contracts, but let's just say anybody who holds out, like Zach Martin last year, he got fined $40,000. And who fined him? Was it the Cowboys? No, it's the NFL. The NFL fines him, and you cannot take those fines away. You cannot, incorporate that into the new contract like teams used to do. But there's a little caveat here. When you're on a rookie contract, and CeeDee Lamb is right now in his 5th year deal of his rookie contract, because of that, he actually can still work the $40,000 and get it back and get it waived. Let me explain. So because he's on his rookie contract, the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, they can opt to waive any accrued fines because he's on his rookie contract. It gives rookies a little more. It gives rookies, I guess. I want to say. It gives the rookie, I guess, some leverage in
so remember, this
negotiations.
This is only for, like you said, that initial first contract. So
right.
Yes, it gives the rookies a little bit more power because usually this is where the vast majority of NFL players make their bigger paydays, right? So it gives the rookies a little bit of negotiation leverage. It also gives the team a bit of negotiation leverage since they obviously can choose to waive those fines the way you previously could.
Right.
So again, it's a win-win for everyone as far as the ability to make moves, so to speak. And really, it just doesn't penalize players who are looking for that initial big payday that they probably rightfully deserve.
So, anyways, that's the update on CeeDee Lamb and where he's at. Now, a real quick thing for training camp. You'll see this, and not on the Cowboys yet, but the Guardian caps for safety, like CeeDee Lamb. I don't know if receivers have to wear them, but I know offensive linemen, tight ends, running backs, linebackers have to wear the Guardian caps, those marshmallow-looking little caps.
Yeah.
But now they put in over those caps kind of a skull cap that goes over the top of them and makes it look like real game helmets with the logos and everything. And some people are gonna, some players are gonna be able to use these type of helmets during the games if they want to. So they're gonna actually. I seen them for the Chargers. It looks really good. The Cowboys have not unveiled them yet because they're using the blue Guardian caps and it doesn't really go well with the silver on top of it. But the Chargers look good. They have the white caps with the white. What do you call it? The skull cap that goes over it with their logo, so you couldn't even see where the helmet starts and when the marshmallow protector begins. I threw that out in there because training camp started, right? So CeeDee Lamb missed it, and he's not in training camp. He has not been there this entire week. Like we just counted down the 5 days.
Yeah.
His holdout continues. Here's the word update on CeeDee Lamb. He's working out and training in the Houston area. That's where he's at right now. He's staying ready as the Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb's agent continue to work through the contract extension. So CeeDee Lamb getting work in Houston. I'll post a video on that soon. Not a big deal, but just he's still keeping, agile, nimble, and ready to go. And again, when it comes to his contract, the word from a source close to him said, quote, "It just has to make sense." It sounds like the Cowboys are like offering him $28 million or something.
Sounds like nothing we've said makes sense.
I mean, it just sounds like the Cowboys are lowballing him once again, and it's going to lead.
It's disappointing.
Yeah, it's going to lead to to stretched out negotiations, hurt feelings, and maybe a trade or something. Maybe he wants to leave Dallas. Who knows? So again, it's not looking good right now. But especially waiting this far, we just had the whole freaking offseason to do all these deals. The Cowboys choose now to do it. That's Dak and CeeDee Lamb. It's just strange,
Jerry
right?
is famous for deadlines make deals, but the deadline has passed, Jerry. Just throwing that out there.
Deadline passed like 3 months ago. By the way, also information on CeeDee Lamb, he's about 195 to 196 pounds is the word.
Okay.
So he's a little bigger, a little faster, and more explosive than in previous years. And again, he had a 2-hour workout in Houston the last time. And again, fine-tuning the details of his game, route running, off the line of scrimmage, that kind of stuff. So CeeDee Lamb is ready to go as soon as the Cowboys can come up with something that makes sense. Right now, they ain't making sense, the Cowboy front office. And I believe CeeDee Lamb and all these players when it comes to the Cowboys front office, because the Cowboy front office, they never make sense when it comes to these deals with their players, whether we want them or not. When they say they want them, then they don't know how to make and we end up signing these guys somehow, horribly at the end. We get, the Cowboy front office gets used and abused because it's the clown show. Now, they did make moves. They did get some signings. Hey, we got some guys signed to the team. Remember, we had 3 openings on our team. So here's what the Joneses did. They said, you know what? We don't have CeeDee Lamb, but we now have Deontay Burnett, wide receiver from USC. We now have Kelvin Harmon, wide receiver from North Carolina State. 2 guys from the UFL, now heading to the Cowboys training camp. So, hey, don't cry, guys. Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, they did their due diligence on the UFL superstars.
All our problems are solved now.
Deontay Burnett and Kelvin Harmon, 2 wide receivers. Again, their colleges, whatever. They were in UFL. I mean, these are camp bodies we're adding to the receiving core, but no CeeDee Lamb added yet. And then the Cowboys opened up another spot because they released Garyon Conley. Garyon Conley is a former first-round pick. He was signed on June 18th, Conley. We were talking about him saying, hey, former first-rounder. I think he was from the Raiders.
Yeah.
And he was signed, and you guys remember we signed him. I mean, he was from the Raiders, but he went to UFL, another UFL star, who did pretty good with the DC Defenders. And then all of a sudden, he has been released by the Cowboys. So why did the Cowboys release him? Because we made, this was 2 days before we released Garyon Conley. We signed these 2 receivers from the UFL, but now he's a cornerback leaving us. Do we need what's the deal there? Well, Garyon Conley, even though he was cut earlier on Sunday, he actually has officially retired from the NFL. Sounds like it's an injury situation. He retired from the NFL. So cornerback, and Garyon Conley he released him because he was retiring. But then we called back Kemon Hall from waivers from the Niners, San Francisco 49ers. Kemon Hall is a cornerback, basically replacing Garyon Conley. So Kemon Hall on the Niners practice squad, but now, he was the last team he actually had some viable time with was the Chargers in 2021 and 2022. So another practice squad, not practice, but another training camp body for the Cowboys and Kemon Hall. And then 2 other camp bodies. That was a cornerback. At receiver, we have Deontay Burnett and Kelvin Harmon. That's the big moves this front office is making right now. Those are the 2 guys that we signed. So no real big deals there. Now, I don't know how the chat feels about this, baby, but I don't know how you feel about us picking up 3 more UFL players, basically. 3 more. Replacing 1 UFL player with another UFL player, and the other 2 guys are just receivers from the UFL.
Yeah, again, nothing against these gentlemen personally, but these are not the championship level moves that we were hoping the Cowboys would consider making. Really just feels like camp bodies.
Yeah.
Especially since there are 2 receivers and the lack of CeeDee Lamb means that, there's probably a lot of reps out there for the taking. BTuck9007. Summing it up. Appreciate you.
Yes, welcome to the family here at MCF. Now, injuries. I see some people asking about Sam Williams. We're going to talk. It's more than just the ACL. So we're going to talk about this in a minute. But before training camp started on Thursday, which is official, actual practice on the field in front of fans, Cowboys did their announcement of who's on the PUP list, the PUP list. And I thought it was going to be a couple of guys, but I knew definitely it was going to probably include Trayvon Diggs. And it did. And he was the only one, which is the great news there. At least a little good news there. Trayvon Diggs started off training camp on the active but physically unable to perform list, which is also called AKA the PUP list. And so, he's still working his way back from that torn ACL. No other Cowboy player that was banged up, injured, had surgery in the offseason, no other player had that designation. So they are all active on the field and ready to play, which is great.
Fantastic.
And I'm also hearing that the Trayvon Diggs thing is just acclamation. He supposedly, the word is he'll be on the practice field and training camp sooner than later. So that is at least a little good news when it comes to injuries.
Yeah, they just didn't want him to go from 0 to 60 when it came to
Coming up that
working his way back onto the football field.
Overshown and these other guys. Like Overshown had his knee, same tear, ACL, but he got hurt about a month earlier. So you guys understand the timeline here. I mean, Overshown's ready to roll. He's fully good to go.
You can also see, again, the difference between being quote-unquote ready is literally a matter of a handful of weeks, if that.
Yep. So, Overshown, he was not put on this PUP list. Mozzie Smith with the shoulder surgery was not put on the PUP list. Luke Schoonmaker, who needs to be out there doing something with the shoulder and the hamstring, did not get on the PUP list. John Stevens Jr., tight end, knee issue, torn ACL as well for him. Also not on the PUP list. Osa Odigizua, who last week heard from him, had a hamstring issue. He wasn't on the PUP list. And David Durden, wide receiver, who would have been would have probably been cut or been a practice squatter. He's also with that ACL tear in his knee, also not put on the PUP list. So all these guys that were banged up, we talked about them the other day, they all made the active roster right now, get a chance to win a roster spot here in training camp, except for Trayvon Diggs, which we know what he can do, and he's going to acclimate and make sure nothing major happens to Trayvon Diggs, rushing him back too soon, as we know what happened today. And this is the killer of Sam Williams, guys. Sam Williams. Initially, what went down, I'll explain what happened. He went down on the field, and it would immediately, we have the video if you haven't posted. We'll show it a little later, but, man, it was really a buckling of his leg. Sam Williams, after his leg kind of buckled, was feared to have torn his ACL at the time in practice. He got, it was a routine pad drill. And I'll explain it when I show the video. You'll see some of the, some of the drills they were doing. It was a special teams type drill. Every player kind of was involved in that. And, Micah Parsons was involved in it. The offense and defensive players were involved in it. So it's a regular pad drill. You're just going in and hitting the pad. It wasn't even a special teams drill. It was more of a, hitting the pad that a player is holding on to. And what happened, the reports are that nothing special happened. It was not a special kind of drill or any kind of weird drill. He simply went to plant his leg before delivering his punch into the bag, basically. And then his knee kind of buckled, quote unquote, blew out, and he went down to the ground. It was a freak injury. And then a couple hours later, guys, and now we have the final word on this. Sam Williams has officially torn his ACL and his MCL in his left knee. Not just the ACL, but both of these ligaments torn. He's going to have surgery probably in a couple of weeks after he strengthens the muscles around those ligaments. And obviously, Sam Williams is going to miss the entire 2024 season. This is a guy that's one of the step-up guys that Jerry Jones kept talking about. Stepping up, we're losing Dorrance Armstrong and Fowler. Now we got Sam Williams. Now we don't have Sam Williams. We literally lost 3 of our guys, depth guys, at edge for 2024. So now we're going to talk about who can take over this spot. I'm going to tell you right now, a little preview. What's his name? Nealon. I said Moreland. Nealon. Marshawn Nealon. Yeah. Our second-round pick rookie took over the snaps today from Sam Williams. And the Cowboys are going to say, step up, next guy up. So, I think that we're going to probably stay with the next guy up in someone like Nealon. But there's also we got to mention the fact that there's a couple free agents still out there, like Carl Lawson and Yannick Ngakoue. These 2 guys are veteran pass rushers, and they're both just 29 years old. And there's also other names I can throw out there, like Charles Harris, Tyus Bowser, Marquise Haynes, Rasheem Green, Marcus Golden, and Shaq Lawson. All guys still out there that can be signed. Probably most of them on a good deal if you want to add a little depth. Not the starter, but a depth guy. Or you can go with, Marshawn Nealon, the rookie, second-round pick. SCO971 in the house. Much love to the man who's ruling over there on the After Dark. Always in the mix. Always, giving his 2 cents. Much love to him, and I appreciate his comment. Go Cowboys!
Always go Cowboys. Thank you again, Sco. Appreciate you. Much love.
Yes.
Bringing Marco Seppian down to 73 points.
73. Tyler Smith. Says Mr. Sco971. Drop that 5 on it. Appreciate you, brother, and big thank you. And I'll, keep moving you up the board there.
Yeah, a lot of, obviously, sad feelings surrounding the Sam Williams injury there, right? Even the Eastside Herald had to say, damn.
Yeah.
So I think I go for saying it looks like it was 99% torn. that ACL. So
Damn.
all bad, terrible news.
Yeah, just horrible.
Cams did say, he needed to stop with the stupid flags. It sucks too because, like I think I mentioned here, he was really excited to play under Zimmer's scheme, and we were all hoping that Zimmer could bring out the best in Sam Williams and get him to that level that we were all hoping he could achieve. So I think the slightly more disappointing part of that, especially since we talked about it during, I think, our last live stream, and just personally between us, any hopes of Micah Parsons playing at linebacker for any kind of, like, even one snap, it pretty much take that and throw it out the window now that he's going to probably need to play on the D-line.
We'll see. I mean, again, I hear you.
Again, obviously we're assuming a lot here, but it's going to be hard to make up for the rotation and the time that Sam Williams was going to be out there, even on just a rotational basis.
And, that's why I kind of say, if you want to kind of have a more freed up Micah Parsons, you probably have to bring in some kind of low level veteran. And there's a couple, like I mentioned out here, we can sign one of these guys. But the Joneses, they don't really sign anybody. Now, we have $20 million, $12 million left over right now. I mean, the Cowboys probably will just take that to the season with them. But there's definitely an option to get a couple guys you want to shore up the depth there. If the Cowboys want to use more Micah Parsons, you're going to kind of lose what Zimmer was going to add to Micah in this in the scheme. And also, even in practice, and you'll see some of it here, if you take a look, Micah, playing edge a lot. Today he went up against Tyler Guyton. And Guyton kind of walled him off a couple times. So got to give credit there to Guyton. But Micah also played off-ball linebacker. And he did a damn good job stopping the run inside and getting in there. So, again, part of Zimmer's scheme is, utilizing Micah as the off-ball linebacker in some instances instead of a pass rusher on the edge every single time. So that's something that, something to look at. Losing Sam Williams hurts a lot. But all I can hope for is that Marshawn Kneeland, got to wake up a little faster here in the rotational role, not a starter, because Sam Williams was not a starter, but he was going to be basically our third pass rusher after Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence. It's Sam Williams. Now it's got to be, as of now, it's Marshawn Kneeland, second-round rookie, known as a pass rusher, but not, and a good run stopper, but more of a DeMarcus Lawrence type than, let's say, a Sam Williams type, which is more of a Micah type, right? Yeah. So keep that in mind for Micah. It definitely could alter things in this scheme. So, any other thoughts on this in the chat or anything real quick?
We pretty much touched on all the thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, really? So now let's just I don't know if I'll be able to get all the videos in because, they're like 15 minutes each, some of these. But we'll start with today's practice. And you'll see the old MCF video. If you haven't seen it, then check it out. I don't think there's audio on here. I don't think there is. So
do you want me to check?
Yeah, just check. I don't think there's audio coming through there, so that's good. I just want to make sure there's no. Good. No audio. Good. No audio from this. You can hear the audio if you guys really want over on the standalone video. Now, as you can see, everyone walking out here to practice: Dak, Zeke, DeMarcus Lawrence, others. But just this practice that you're going to see here, some of the highlights for this, and I'll probably stop it around the Sam Williams situation, but it was by far the most productive practice so far.
Good to hear.
It was a high intent. This practice you see, which was from today, we're going to go backwards. But this practice was the most productive. It had the most high intensity. It was very, very lively, this practice. Now you're going to see some guys making some plays here. Like I said, Tyler Guyton, the rookie, walling off Micah Parsons as the left tackle. He was working with the starters today. So that's a good sign there as Brandon Cooks gets ready to get in that field. Tyler Guyton did a great job today, at least in his first day with the starters, and a great job at keeping Micah at bay for the most part. So it'll be interesting to see, if he keeps growing from here, which is a lucky first day. The defensive side of it. Oh, by the way, this guy right here, you see, one of our new signees, one of those new receivers from the UFL. Yeah, number 6. So again, there's Micah running out there. And the defense, guys, don't forget Kalen Carson, the rookie, all right? He was out there also doing great stuff out there. He got a pick, an interception. I think it was off Cooper Rush, if I'm not mistaken. And a great interception it was. It also broke up another passing play to Jalen Tolbert, who's having a monster training camp right now. So, just good stuff out there. And, he wasn't the only one having a monster day. Tolbert and Billy Johnson, Yeah, Billy Johnson. You guys, last year made a practice squad. This guy's having a great time right now for the Cowboys with no pads on. Number 13. Keep an eye on him. But he's both Jalen Tolbert and Billy Johnson are building on a strong start to this training camp. The defense showing different looks in the front seven, so it kind of tells you, kind of what Zimmer's kind of trying to do. Be very kind of changing things up a lot of different looks. So offenses have to kind of take more time to figure stuff out. And that's a Zimmer tweak right there. And then also linebackers. How are they doing in coverage? That's one of our weaknesses on here, I think, in our defense, is linebacker coverage. Well, Eric Kendricks looking really good out there. Eric Kendricks is out there, really, I would say, holding it down. I think, is Maris Liufau also having a really good time out there? I'm not sure, but there's a couple of linebackers that are looking really good in coverage. And going back to Tyler, and again, here are the quarterbacks. They're trying to go for the they're kind of doing an accuracy drill here, trying to get into the bucket. Nobody hit it, by the way. If you're wondering, nobody got it in the bucket. It was actually the first throw, if you saw it. Dak threw it, and it hit the bucket, and it hit the guy's face that was standing there, unfortunately, for him. Ouch. So, anyways, and you'll see it coming up here in a minute. I think you'll see Tyler Guyton getting a little bit of work. With the blocking and getting some instruction there. But Tyler Guyton, guys, did a great job. He earned starter reps. He kind of kept Micah quiet the whole practice and had a pancake block of Eric Kendricks. So Tyler Guyton, I got to give it up, number 60, the rookie, doing a lot more now, looking a lot better than we first were thinking it would look like, because we thought he was going to be in shambles. Here's Trey Lance rolling out the pocket and then hitting the guy there. Now here's some jugs machine work by Brandon Cooks. But again, guys, it was great to see Tyler Guyton in today's practice working with the first team at left tackle. He did a great job against Micah. I think at center, you got to ask him, well, who's the center? Who's the center? Brock Hoffman was the starting center again. All right. Dakota Shepley was the second team center.
Okay.
And Cooper Beebe was the third team center. So he's the third string center. And by the way, there's Tyler Guyton, number 60, doing a little work there. And then here's Mozzie and the defensive line doing a little bit of footwork drills here going on. But again, like I said, Tyler Guyton did a great job on the offensive line. Dakota Shepley was the backup center with Cooper Beebe as the third stringer. But Cooper Beebe was the second string guard. So he played a lot of guard on second team, okay, a lot of center on third team. That's kind of what he was doing there when you're looking at Cooper Beebe. And again, taking a little time before they get him moved into more of a bigger role there. Then look at the quick feet on Mozzie there. And there's Sam Williams before he got hurt. So Osa, and others doing their thing.
All of them are honestly looking very fast.
Yeah,
there.
Very good there. Quick feet. This is something that Zimmer's going to want. And here's Mozzie doing his thing, taking on a block, blowing up the blocker, trying to blow up the inside sweeps, the outside sweeps. That's what Mozzie's going to be doing there. So I just want to go to something here real quick. Receiver Tyron Billy Johnson, number 13. Keep an eye on some of the video on this from this day, today's practice. You'll see number 13 probably get 2 touchdowns. One, which he just split the defense and ran all the way for TD. Another one, a beautiful throw, I think was by Cooper Rush. And it was a beautiful touchdown. By the way, here's some jug machine work by Eric Kendricks, number 50. And you're going to see some more from Deron Bland, who got a couple picks a couple days ago. We'll talk about that. But Tyron Billy Johnson, number 13. Keep an eye on him in these highlights. Beautiful touchdown in a 2-minute drill from Cooper Rush. Brandon Aubrey, you'll see him kicking the ball here, I think, a little bit. He's going to have some fun with that kickoff rule. Spent a lot of time working on different type of kicks and putting that soccer background to use, kind of spinning the ball off the tee, doing a lot of different stuff. Now, here's where I think, unfortunately, Sam Williams got injured. One of these kind of drills right here. When he planted, right before, boom, right there to plant, his knee buckled. Now, you're not going to see it, but that's what was described as what happened. And it's just a simple little drill like this is what, there's Micah just pushing off into it. It just sucks.
Any
just
kind
so
of non-contact injury does have that extra layer of, damn it, to it, right? If you get hurt doing actual football stuff, at least it feels like, okay,
there's Overshown.
Understandable, right?
Overshown doing this thing, yeah.
Man, especially those soft tissue injuries.
And you see these kind of things here, this kind of blocking here, you'll see this is like more special teams kind of stuff. There's Overshown again. And here's the kickoffs, by the way. The new kickoff. Check this out. The return here by Turpin. Whoop, gone. So there's some things they're working on here. You see another kickoff here in a minute. The way they're lining up, this is the way it will be kicked off, by the way. You're kind of getting a visual of how close they're going to be. And they can't move until the ball is caught by the, I think the ball, if the ball is caught by the, look at that.
Honestly, I think it will take a little bit of getting used to just because it looks like they're setting up for a regular play. Speaking of, there is the unfortunate aftermath of that Sam Williams injury.
Torn ACL and MCL. You see him bringing the card out. And, I mean, baby, you can give your reaction. I kind of gave my information, my thoughts on this. But, again, in pain. You know, you knew, everyone said it didn't look good at the time. We all figured it was ACL. It was ACL and MCL out for the year.
Yeah, we were all obviously genuinely hoping for, you know, the small chance that maybe it wasn't as bad as we initially thought, but obviously it was exactly as bad as we thought and then some. So, again, I think the most disappointing part is the fact that, yes, Sam Williams was a guy that needed to prove himself in a big way this year, and a lot of us thought that Zimmer would absolutely get him to show us what he's made of. And we know how excited he was to play under the Zimmer defense. Again, a handful of players have already expressed their excitement at being able to play under Zimmer and a few of the challenges and changes, you know, the different flavor that Zimmer brings to the defense. So, you guys are saying it here too. I want to hit up a handful of your comments, right? Tom saying the defense definitely made some moves in practice, but hopefully Zimmer has real improvement to the run stops and some good reads. Glad Guyton is doing well, so hopefully that he can start sooner rather than later. Actually, again, I feel like as of now, if you asked me to summarize the last few days of training camp, even though it's very early, I would say defense is looking good. So far, they all overall have done a really good job, although extra special shout out, yes, to our defensive backs, because I'm pretty sure that Dak Prescott's been picked off like 3 times so far in camp. Although, again, I already know how the anti-Dak brigade is going to take that statement. Just saying that overall our defense has actually, really stepped it up and come to play. I know that I was left a little bit, I don't want to say worried, but after some of the comments that Micah Parsons had made during some of the OTAs and things like that, I was just looking forward to seeing how it all came together. And again, very early days, but so far I like what's being put out there. So, Cam from AZ saying our players need a guy like Zimmer. He talks a lot of trash to push them. Yeah, you could not describe the energy between Zimmer and Quinn any differently. Again, both very serious guys. They take their football very seriously, but the way that they approach it and approach how they handle the players completely differently. And of course, their focus is too, right? Quinn is more of a D-line guy. Obviously, Zimmer is more of a defensive backs focused coach. But I know that Micah had said, again, he had to roll it back to the OTAs, and we'll hear about his comments now. But he did say that is one thing that he did kind of miss from Dan Quinn, right? Dan Quinn got very personal with his players, was very open and available, and especially with Micah Parsons, right? Micah basically had a direct line to Dan Quinn, whereas Zimmer is not that type of coach, right? He likes and seems to appreciate a little bit of that separation where it's like, okay, I'm the coach and you're the player, and he's not going to be all buddy-buddy with you in the same way that Quinn was. That's just reality. So, I do think that once they get comfortable with each other, and especially once Micah is out there, making plays and hopefully benefiting from some of Zimmer's schemes, he's going to be like, all right, I'm here for this. So, although he did say that it was going to be on site with Dan Quinn once they officially hit the football field. So, shout out to the man, C. Bass. Much love to you. I know that we're hoping to have you on here tonight. Obviously, the Dallas Cowboys stars did not quite align there, but make sure to let us know if there's another time. It doesn't have to be on a Sunday. We will make an exception, an extra special exception for you, C. Bass, to make sure that we can coordinate and get that live stream in, because now that training camp has started, I want to know what you think so far of everything. Yeah,
we're going to talk to Mr. Seabass, Mr. Over Everything in a minute. But here you're seeing Dak actually got sacked on that play. It was a 4th down. I don't know if you saw the big play yet. There's Dak again. Take a look at this, though. As we look at the last highlights here, it's right there. That's a interception. by Mr. Eric Kendricks on Dak Prescott. Here's another angle of this. Number 50, Eric Kendricks going to be playing. He knows Zimmer's role, Zimmer's scheme. Look at
so
this.
No surprise that he's one
underneath,
of the
picks it off. Boom.
early camp standouts, so to speak.
Well, yeah, it definitely knows what he's doing. Advanced on the defensive scheme. And again, Cowboys are getting Dak. Look at him getting. And this is not Dak actually. I think this is Cooper Rush to a touchdown to Billy Johnson. He was talking a little trash right there. You guys should hear the audio portion of that. Here's another angle. Look how beautiful this play is. But it's almost like Billy Johnson. Look how smooth he is at running his route here, and getting separation from the defender. Great job there. Beautiful pass. Kalen Carson got beat, the rookie, but he did get an interception earlier and ripped the ball out early on other situations and plays. But, and there they are celebrating. They're number 13 having a great, first couple of days. Again, these are no padded practices, helmets and shorts. So, here's another great catch. It's Trey Lance throwing it to McCasey or something like this. I mean, a guy who probably won't make the team. But a great, I would say not really a great pass, but look at the great catch here. Same play. Boom. And keeping his, there he is, McMath. So number 80 made a great catch there, keeping himself in bounds.
Maybe it's because we keep seeing them, but I have to admit the little marshmallow helmets are like I'm starting to get used to them a little bit.
Now here is Cooper Rush throw, and this one, boom, picked by Kalen Carson, number 41, the rookie. Great job, great interception. I think there's another angle of it. You can see how nice he reads this here and gets underneath the ball. What a catch! You see it. That exact interception is on our thumbnail. So again, you got to give him credit. And this is how practice ended, with Trey Lance on a 2-minute drill, gets him to the goal line. Defense stops him, number 59, with a good stop there. They're rushing up. They only have seconds left. Who wins the battle between offense and defense? Trey Lance looking to his right. Rolling, he's going to run in. No, gets tackled and goes down before he gets in the end zone. The defense wins that battle. Defense is dominating these camps right now. Today being, the most up-to-date camp. Oh, by the way, look afterwards. Dak Prescott, his girl.
You mean Papa Dak?
And girl dad right there, Dak Prescott doing this thing.
Nice to see, Zach Martin is also there with his kids. You see him there.
And Dak goes over and talks to the kids over there as well. Cooper Rush, the quarterbacks, they're all hugging. They know each other. So anyways, as you can see, guys, when I go back, Kalen Carson intercepted a deep ball from Trey Lance, leapt and grabbed the ball at the high point. You just saw the video of that. Eric Kendricks got underneath a slant route to pick off that guy right there, Dak Prescott. So a very good read by Eric Kendricks in the scheme of Zimmer, which they gave a lot of different looks to front seven, which I'm not saying it confused Dak, but it definitely made things a little bit different every single time the Cowboys offense took the field. They had to read things differently. So it's interesting to see the Cowboys trying to decipher the Zimmer defense on offense at least. So, that was today's practice. You got other practice days like yesterday. Let me just reiterate. This was 2 days ago, what you're seeing right now, because there's little Deuce Vaughn catching the ball at the backfield and also getting some punt action here. As you can see, some punt catching, and maybe use them there. But as the defense warms up here and gets going, yesterday's practice was a walkthrough. I just want to make sure everyone knows this. All right, it was the Saturday practice. It was the Jerry Jones arrived, and it's supposed to be Fan Appreciation Day. They had the cheerleaders out there. It was a walkthrough. It was a mock game, which mock games are always no helmets, just shorts, and they just do basically it's a walkthrough session, which is no hitting, no drills, no nothing like that. Just throw the ball around a little bit, go through some slow motion plays, and then you get off the field. So that's all the Cowboys did on Saturday. We talked about Sunday already. What about Friday? This is Friday right here, getting ready. And this was the basically day 2 of practice. Defensive backs. We're looking at Marquise Bell, some other guys here. The defensive backs are a step ahead right now. I think it has a lot to do with Zimmer. Zimmer's a defensive backs coach. And the defensive backs are like in tune right now. They're like they seem to be the most in tune, the safeties and corners right now. Again, very impressive, but again, they're wearing no pads, no physicality. So it's hard to tell, how good they're going to do.
Yeah,
now look,
I really think most of those early walkthrough practices are more about learning the playbook and getting some of maybe those cadences down. Like,
you see, it's like a cadence. Micah, if you heard this, Micah's screaming. Like he's screaming and grunting every 5 seconds. There's some more drills there from Al Harris to Deron Bland, and Eric Kendricks standing there watching as well. So yeah, when you look at this with the physicality part of things, we'll see how good the cornerbacks and safeties hold up. But right now they're looking good currently without pads. Trey Lance on day 2. And speaking of Trey Lance, Cooper Beebe snapping the ball to Trey Lance. little BB there. And you see BB there snapping the ball to Dak, but look who's standing there watching. Jarrah Jones. Why is he in the middle of the goddamn field? Anyways.
Oh, he's getting ready to snap the ball next.
I see that. Here you see the quarterbacks. They're practicing the accuracy stuff here. Cooper Rush, Trey Lance, Dak Prescott. But the first day, Trey Lance had a bad day. A lot of off passes. The second day, a lot better. This was the second day of practice for the Cowboys. And Trey Lance had a better day overall. Showed off some scrambling ability. If we stay this in this video long enough, there's Tyler Guyton, by the way. If you stay this long enough, you'll see, Trey Lance scrambling for a first down, scrambling to get out, on a running play, designed run for a quarterback. So very athletic and had better accuracy in this practice day. Another Tyler Guyton video here. Micah Parsons and Marshawn Nealon, the rookie, were very quick off the line of scrimmage. Really quick. And you know who was right there with them? Mozzie Smith. Improving the quickness. That's major right there. And you look at the receivers now, of course, if you look at number 13, Tyron Billy Johnson. Do not forget this guy's name. Number 13 is a guy you're going to want to keep an eye on in preseason and in training camp, because he's definitely moving up. He's definitely going up the charts as far as the receiver room. And I think he's somebody to kind of keep an eye on the rest of camp and into preseason. Now, in this practice is the one where Dak just got picked twice. This was day 2 of practice. Dak got picked by DaRon Bland. It was a better play by DaRon Bland than a bad pass by Dak Prescott. But you'll see that, and you probably will see this you'll see that play in this compilation of practice for the Cowboys on day 2. But again, DaRon Bland by far was the player of this day, of day 2. And also, don't forget, Jordan Lewis had a fantastic leaping interception as well against Dak Prescott. So they had Dak's number. The defense is winning most of these battles, I'm going to say this, against all the quarterbacks, against all the offenses.
That's why I said, I know you weren't here to hear every single detail of it, but when I talked about my general summary of the last few days, I said, I'm like, the defense is impressive. So far the early tweaks that Zimmer seems to have made, it's nice to see them. I can't wait to continue to see them. But as of now, it's doing what it needs to do.
It's definitely confusing
You're
the
seeing,
offense.
I'm just saying, you're seeing a little bit of that impact, it seems like, even though we're very, very, very early days.
It's very good, though, also to think about the fact that if the defense is playing this well against our offense right now, again, I know we don't have the same offense as last year, but my point is that if our defense is playing this, and they kind of are knowing the scheme a little bit better than expected, that's a good sign for the defense to kind of be productive this year, because that's one of the things it was going to be tougher to learn this Zimmer scheme than the Quinn scheme.
From the last few years, where we heard from several players
Malik Hooker,
that Dan Quinn had to dumb down some of the schemes and dumb down some of the concepts he was trying to teach, because there are players that just were not getting it. So, whatever we're doing now, it seems to be working.
He's putting the pressure on. That's what we need to do.
Now, to play devil's advocate, though, the offense is kind of missing a key component here, which is CeeDee Lamb, which I know we kind of debated this, and not debate, but we talked about this back and forth. I feel like you can clearly see Dak is really leaning into one of the things that tends to be a bit of his Achilles heel. He does not look for the open guy that's deep. Right? He tends to go for the shorter, safe, easy dump down plays. And I think with CeeDee Lamb not being here, you're even more so. You're seeing Dak basically just go for what we'd probably call it the dink and Dak, right? He's not really looking for those bigger opportunities that we've seen a handful of times, and I do think that a big chunk of that is the impact of the lack of CeeDee Lamb.
By the way, I just wanted to say another guy who was not practicing day 2 and didn't practice, I think, today. Today's practice was Ryan Flournoy, one of the rookies for the Cowboys at receiver. So just saw him walking around the sideline, kind of gimpy there. I just wanted to, not a sideline, but in a group of receivers. I wanted to mention that in this whole thing. But I agree. Without CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott's kind of reduced the dink and dunk a little bit, the dink and Dak. But the thing is that I also think Dak has a tendency to just see the first open guy and throw it rather than let the play develop to other guys. Tyron Billy Johnson actually had burned his guy in one of these plays, and Dak dumped it down to the easy 3-yard gain instead of the easy 40-yard gain. So, maybe I think it's just maybe Dak has to maybe be more in tune and maybe connect better with his receivers and them with him. As training camp continues, hopefully we see that happening. So, that this is all, again, I'll let it play out here a little day two. You're seeing a lot of John Stevens. You're seeing here Jalen Tolbert, number 1, who's really had a great training camp so far. Here's another Tolbert. Look at him going deep. Dak hitting him basically in the seam. And then here, Dak, hitting the ball right there to Tolbert. I think, no, that's John Stevens. Jalen Brooks going across the middle there. So Dak, they're trying to get Dak to get different levels of passes there. Here you see Dak, quick dump down there for the easier play. But that Jalen Brooks, number 83, had a good day in day 2 for him. Every day has been a good day for Tolbert, though. So Tolbert stays ahead of him. Here, a little fake blitz, a little pressure by Kendricks. Dak throws it to the outside. Bam! Tolbert again making the plays. I mean, Tolbert has been shining. Definitely playing well. Cooks has been, been there for Dak. Imagine if we get CeeDee Lamb in the mix, you know what I mean? So there's that play by Tolbert, getting separation, great moves on his routes. So now here you can look at Micah here. Watch Micah. Coverage-wise, right there in great coverage. Micah, is an off-ball linebacker, right? Here he is, off-ball linebacker again, watching the running back. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. Nothing for Turpin or whoever. Yeah. So again, here's a run. There's Micah, overshown, involved, stopping Zeke. You don't get anywhere. So the defense is trying to, we're seeing Zimmer. Now it's number 60 blocking the linebacker, second level, and you saw Royce Freeman getting some yardage there. It's more about the blocking from the rookie Tyler Guyton. Another run here by, who is that, Rico Dowdle. And then this is Trey Lance. Watch Trey Lance here, kind of doing a planned run play, a QB sneak. And here's a 4th down play. Watch Trey Lance. Shows athleticism here. In, out, bounces out, goes to the left, takes the sideline and gets that first down. Tippy toes it down the sideline. So again, he showed a little better day here in day 2 for the Cowboys than he did in day 1. And, there another nice pass and on and on. So again, I really, like the way this is developing. There's Tyron. Is that Tyron or Tyrus? Billy Johnson right there, number 13. I mean, it's making plays every day as well at training camp. So here's Dak to Ferguson, getting close to the red zone goal line area. So you're going to see some Fergie usage down there. Dak trying to go on a 2-minute drill. And, going to Brandon Cooks. And, he didn't stop there. He hit Brandon Cooks again on the same drill. Boom, we go into the inside, outside. And this is kind of the quick 2-minute drill the Cowboys are working on. Now here's Dak looking, and bam, what a play there. Good catch, Turpin first down. And then later on, you're seeing Dak hitting on the out there. Again, Billy Johnson having a great camp. And as this day 2 kind of came to a close, a couple mistakes by Dak Prescott, if I'm not mistaken here. Although this one I think is another one to Billy Johnson, kind of cutting across to the right side of the field. We're going to get to Dak's picks now. We're going to see a couple different visuals of this. Dak, not a good day 2. Here, picked by Deron Bland. Gets up, would have probably been tackled, but goes all the way because pick 6. He's the pick 6 record holder. So he went all the way with that. Here's another view of that same interception. You may get a better kind of a closer view of it, but great read by Deron Bland to undercut this. It was basically a comeback, and it was easily read there. Deron Bland, great play.
I know, but
doing
again,
his thing.
I know picks happen. Don't really give a shit. It's training camp in that sense, right?
They want Dak to throw it.
Like
in there.
I said, I think that CeeDee Lamb impact is
Right.
definitely being felt
I
because
agree.
I feel like a lot of these other plays would have been more successful, or at least not as obvious.
Now here's Dak getting picked again. Jordan Lewis. Maybe you didn't see it there. Well, guess what? You'll see it again. Watch this view. What a great job by J. Lou. A $2 holler, right? J. Lou, $2 holler. You see him right here. Boom, stretching out and making that nice catch. So Jordan Lewis playing the slot nickel cornerback spot. Had a good day as well there. Another view here, a closer view of, I think, Jordan Lewis's pick. Boom. Beautiful. So, again, Dak, I think in these days, you got to remember, they also force, hey, look, it's Tolbert versus Kalen Carson, 2 young guys, in the walkthrough afterwards. But what I'm trying to say here is that when you have these offensive situations, I saw Asmodi saying the defense usually gets it first. I just say that it's a new scheme. That's why I was surprised that they got it first, even this time.
Yeah, I think that speaks to the quality of the scheme, right?
Yeah. And by the way, you just saw Trayvon Diggs, right, walking around. You hear, look at the rookies, right? Cooper Beebe, Tyler Guyton. Mm-hmm. They got to get all the helmets. That's your job, rookies.
Love it.
And there's Zeke, of course, signing as they, and Jerry Jones over there signing some autographs. But I think when you see a lot of these picks happen, I think you got to remember it's happening because they're trying things. They're trying to squeeze the ball in there. I mean, Dak has nothing to lose. You want to throw the picks here. You know what I mean? So as the quarterback dance continues, this was day one of the actual on the field in front of players practice. Of course, this was Thursday, but Wednesday was a walkthrough that nobody saw. It's just a walkthrough. This was the first actual helmet practice, so to speak. And this is a new thing the Cowboys have been doing. You'll see this a lot more. This spinning, kind of getting a snap and spinning kind of deal to hand off the ball. They're teaching something here for all three quarterbacks. And of course, here actually it's funny because in this first practice you're gonna see the quarterbacks throwing the ball to each other like to the receivers as quarterbacks. So you'll see Dak throw to Cooper Rush, and they're kind of doing a 2-minute drill just with the quarterbacks going down the field.
Okay.
We've heard about this happening, and McCarthy says they do that. They do that often. So on this first day of practice, guys, defensive backs also were very impressive. Made things tough on the offense. You'll see some of that picture. You see Brock Hoffman at center. He looked clean and powerful on the offensive line drills. I will say Cooper Beebe did look clean in his snaps on day 2 and today's practice. So Beebe was also doing good, but he was trying to. When day 1, he was just working on shotgun snaps, trying to get that accuracy down. So Hoffman looked clean, powerful, and the starter reps again, no physicality can be shown. Look, here it is. Here's the quarterback receiving cam here, running down the field and doing routes. So, and there's Zeke, first time wearing number 15 on the actual training camp field. Yeah. Working on those cords there for his older, beat up body. But either way, the offensive line, young guys, they look good, but no pads. I don't know. I got to see. This is when you really need to see the physicality of an offensive lineman. You got to get the pads on. Now, I will say Tyler Guyton looked good today against Micah without pads. So that was pretty impressive. Neither backup quarterback, I'm talking about Trey Lance and Cooper Rush in this practice, looked impressive at all. None of them looked good. The backups in this practice.
Which in a weird way makes a better case for Trey Lance, if anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, Cooper Rush has been here a bunch of years, right?
They're sucking equally. Well, I feel like Trey Lance has the slight
but that was just the first day.
That was just day 1.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper Rush threw some nice touchdowns today. But all the guys, Dak and all three guys are throwing nice passes and throwing bad passes too. Here's the running back crew right here. You saw Zeke with Deuce Vaughn, number 42. And now they're starting to work in. You see this day 1. They're starting to work in now. They go from positions. Now they're getting in the running backs with the quarterback. They're going to start throwing the ball to the receivers and the tight ends. And that's the way day 1 kind of went there. I will say this. DeMar Overshown on defense. All right. John Stevens on tight end. Both these guys coming off the same day they had the torn ACL in that Seattle game in preseason. They both looked very good post-injury. So that's good news there for both those guys. Now, you saw Dak threw it to Turpin a couple times. Dak to Turpin. Some of the best passes Dak has had with separation is from Turpin. So keep that around, keep that little man Turpin in the mix as well.
That, especially in CeeDee Lamb's absence. So someone's getting that.
Guys are stepping up, right? Yeah. As the running backs go through their drills, their footwork drills. That was probably the best throw of day 1. Dak to Turpin. The second best throw, even though Trey Lance had a bad day 1, he had a nice bootleg out to the right, which looked like an RPO. It was an off-balance throw from the hash to the sideline. It was a perfect pass for Trey Lance. So that was good to see. Here's all the running backs. There's Zeke. Oh, I think at least that's Zeke, I think. And then here's, I think, Royce Freeman getting his chance. Here's fullback Hunter Lipke doing his thing in the corner after practice. So again, he's trying to fight for something. Everyone's fighting for something. Here's Tyler Guyton, just trying moving the sled a little bit on his first practice with the Cowboys in training camp. And then here's Trayvon Diggs, hurt but working on the sideline. And he's the only PUP player, and he's going to be on the sidelines doing this for like a week or two until hopefully they get him back into the mix. Here's a little bit of that. Again, there's Overshown and Kendricks doing linebacker drills. Gotta love it. And this is Mozzie Smith. I mean, we want to see him come off faster. Look at that. If you look at the day 3 practice, which is the walkthrough, there's actually them getting off the ball. Mozzie Smith is right there with Micah and Nealand off the line of scrimmage, off the snap. So that's great to see. Mozzie is improving his get off, which is going to be his biggest thing. Now here's Micah. Oh my God, doing his thing. He ain't going to mess. But hey, see that? There's Coach Z, Coach Zigonina. Zganina. Look at his leg. This guy's a huge man, and he might. He's right now talking to Micah, trying to tell him what he wants to get out of this. So, it's good to see that as a new, fresh teacher in there for Micah to kind of learn how to. Let's see how he does this one. Boom. So he wants to keep it up longer. I think is what he wanted him to do, not
and
to
remember,
let it down.
Since I mentioned it earlier with the whole Dan Quinn connection thing, Micah does need obviously somebody to kind of lean on when it comes to some of that coaching aspect. Hopefully Zganina can help fill some of that more personable coach role.
I think Zganina is going to be working with him much more than Zimmer will. Yeah. Now here's Brandon Cooks, just looking great, looking like Brandon Cooks should out there. But again, he's the number one now. And here's a little mirror image there of Rush. But there you go. You're getting the balls thrown out there to Cooks and the 16. There's a little more Trey Lance for you there to John Steele, Brooks. So, a lot of these guys looking really good. Oh, number 18. Who the hell is this? This is one of the rookies, I think. Looking good out there. Look, a lot of great stuff, but it's just no pads yet. We just get nice plays here and there, but no pads.
Still nice to see, even if it is this early on, even if it is without pads.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So that's kind of the way this practice went. We'll talk it through here and kind of finish it up, but after that, it's all you, baby. It's going to be the quotes. And kind of what Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, some of the players said as we wrap it up. I heard you talking to Micah Parsons. I guess you got some Micah Parsons quotes out there.
A few
relevant
comments. Yeah. Honestly, most of our comments are going to be from our front office, and we do have some sprinklings from some of our players. But yeah, this is obviously a very front office focused commentary that we're going to get to in a minute. So real quick, I wanted to touch on a few comments here real quick. Cam from AZ wants to know how Zeke is doing.
He's just normal. I mean, nothing special going on with no pads. You are seeing a lot of John Stevens, number 81, making catches from all the quarterbacks, Dak, Cooper Rush, Trey Lance. 81, keep an eye on him at tight end. He was unfortunately cut short last year. He was going to be our number 2 tight end possibly. Yeah. So keep an eye on him. Keep an eye, and nothing from Brevin Spanford either. The other tight end, have not seen much from him as of right now. But running backs aren't really being used too much. A little Dowdle, a little bit of Royce Freeman, and a little Zeke in the drills.
Yeah, and some people hopping in here now, like Kenzie Vance and Jamal Charles, wanted to touch on Sam Williams again. Jamal Charles was saying, is Sam Williams out for the season? Unfortunately, yes.
Torn ACL and torn MCL. Unfortunately, yeah.
We'll keep you guys updated, of course, on his rehab process. But Kenzie Bands also wanted to say, I want everyone to understand, don't think negatively just because one player got hurt. Pray for him and don't think about negative, think, positive things. But I want Mr. MCF's opinion. Yeah,
I'll give it to you in a minute. By the way, that's Billy Johnson right there. This is day one making plays. Every day you heard me call his name. Every day you heard me talk about Tolbert as well. That's good. That's one of the good, and Turpin looking good. That's one of the good things about CD not being there. We're getting to see some of these other guys maybe rise to the top a little quicker.
Yeah.
When it comes to that comment, though, let me see here.
From Kenzie Bands,
what was
earlier on?
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
No, he just said that, basically don't think negatively, think positive things, and then positive things will happen there. Like, basically just because one player got hurt doesn't mean...
I'm with you. I said that earlier that Nealon's going to have to step up. By the way, think about stepping up. Jalen Tolbert with the catch. Man, what a catch that was. And then Dak here throw the touchdown to the left side and left corner on this goal line 2-minute drill situation. But, man, great catch by Tolbert. Again, a great camp so far. Mm-hmm. I think this is Cooper Rush throwing the ball here, launching it. And who's over there to catch it? Jalen Brooks. But it gets ripped out by number 30. Who is that? Who ripped that out? Was that Nashawn Wright? No, I don't think so. But a great play there by the defensive player, and I wish I remember who that was. I'm sorry.
And yeah, Asmodeus, he said Micah sort of didn't have full respect for DQ, but he has to respect the man whose ass he cannot whip. And that's why I said that the way that Zimmer and Quinn handle their coaching aspects respectively, Zimmer is very much I am the coach, you are the player. There is that clear separation between us, and he likes it that way. Yeah. I'm not saying one is right, not saying one is wrong. I'm just saying that that's their styles.
By the way,
let's see which one Micah ends up responding to more positively when it comes to his actual play and performance and not his personal feelings. Because obviously most of us would probably prefer a Dan Quinn-esque type coach. We wouldn't, right? Chilling with the coach, hanging with the coach is cool with you. But it seems like these Zimmer types of coaches maybe get more results when you think about who's out there actually winning Super Bowls and things like that, right? Bill Belichick's not being buddy-buddy with his players.
No, not at all. He wants to win. That's
just
the
to
only
give an example.
So, look, and you see in here the post-practice walkthrough. That's what you're seeing right there. But I mean, I truly think that next man stand, up. Here's some Mozzie in there in the middle. You're seeing Neeland on the outside and Overshown there at linebacker. But Neeland right there, number 94, he's the guy that's going to have to step up. And I think he will at least do something here. You see him here getting blocked by Chuma Edoga. But I think 94, Marshawn Neeland is going to be the guy that is going to have to step up unless we end up getting in another, another player from free agency, like an Ngakoue or something like that, as the defensive lineman walk off the field. There's Sam Williams, unfortunately, in day one, not knowing what his fate was going to be 3 days from that, unfortunately. And there's Travis Frederick, by the way, talking with DeMarcus Lawrence there at post-practice. And there's Ron Bland, who actually, by the way, signing these autographs with these girls. There was a guy to the right, a grown man, trying to cut them all off. And he's like, chill out, wait up. Because this guy on the right was like trying to cut all the girls off. To a grown man trying to get his stuff signed. See him right there? So, yeah, they have to deal with that stuff, too.
I like that the players are respectful
sticking up
of,
for them,
the kids coming first.
Agree.
So, Seabass saying it, yep, Neeland's going to have to grow up fast. Yeah, that to me is, I don't want to say my fear for this season, but one of the other downsides to the current injury situation, Sam Williams and all that, guys like Neeland are maybe going to be asked to do more than they're ready for initially. And I know football is all about trial by fire, but in such a delicate position, I just don't want it to turn into a situation where he ends up falling short and then never quite reaches the level that he could have, not just because of physical situations, but the mental situation of, oh man, I'm always a step behind or something. I don't know. Well, I'm trying not to speak it into existence. I want to see how it plays out. Definitely a concern, though. Now, I know that was pretty much it on your side as far as the weekly recap from these last few days of training camp so far.
I definitely wanted to break down at least some of the highlights. I wanted you guys to see the highlights of what we visually know and can see, on top of some things we didn't see behind the scenes, and some things that, I don't have to sit here and talk. That's 4 days of practice I just went through with you guys. So, I think we're going to kind of do this from now on like this, kind of recap a bunch of days and kind of give you kind of a quicker highlight of everything. And then, with the videos that we put out daily here, we're going to use that as a guide to kind of look at it and hear what I'm saying, hear what you guys are saying, and talk that stuff through. But there's other things we had to kind of, go back to, which was back to Wednesday. Remember, Jerry Jones, I don't think we talked about this, but Jerry Jones, it's not a big deal now. We can't really talk about it because it kind of passed. But Jerry Jones's trial with his daughter situation, and getting the
if you guys remember, they ended up rescheduling the usual Cowboys opening press conference.
Jerry Jones was supposed
Jerry's
to be
upcoming trial.
he was supposed to be there for a week, and all of a sudden on Tuesday or Monday, Tuesday afternoon, all of a sudden everything was resolved.
Yeah, so the case was dismissed with prejudice, which means that she can't refile that paternity suit. Basically can't come after Jerry for the same thing. But basically the initial agreement that Jerry signed with his alleged not baby mama ends up remaining intact. Apparently both sides talked it out, and everyone's happy. That's the craziest part, right? This young woman is happy. The alleged baby mom's happy. Jerry is happy. Everyone's happy, and no one's happier than Jerry Jones because, yes, he got to come to Oxnard much earlier than anticipated.
Right before that first practice,
the opening conference was able to happen on Thursday instead of the Saturday that it was initially scheduled.
It was supposed to be first, like Wednesday. Then it got shoved to Saturday, and it was pulled back to Thursday right before the first practice in training camp to the fans. Exactly. So it worked out perfectly for Jerry Jones.
And just throwing this out there, Asmodeus, I don't think any actual money changed hands by the original agreement being held up. That means that Jerry will continue to pay them some whatever support that he had already agreed to. But more importantly than that, he doesn't have to come out and take the paternity test and admit that this young woman is his actual child. So now that that's resolved, the Cowboys moved that State of the Union, right? Opening press conference, training camp. Again, supposed to be Wednesday when it was just, physicals being done, no practice. Moved to Saturday for Fan Appreciation Day. And then because this case was dropped and completed on Tuesday, was moved back to Thursday, literally right before the first official practice of the fans. So, Cowboys State of the Union press conference, it featured Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and Mike McCarthy, head coach. Took place 10:30 Pacific time, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time on Thursday. It was moved the second time, and this is all to do with
his court case that was finally resolved. So, what was said by him, Steven, and Mike McCarthy, baby? You have all the info.
Yes, and I'm going to hit on, again, the actual relevant, important things, the things that we actually need to know.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
we don't have to know about Jerry's shower antics.
The biggest thing, the biggest theme here is, obviously he's been facing some criticisms over our current offseason and the lack of any kind of movement there. But Jerry basically was trying to tell everyone to be more positive, be happier, be excited about this team, saying, quote, "What we do have are 14 Pro Bowlers and 12 All-Pros. We have an outstanding team." Now,
unfortunately, CeeDee Lamb's not there, so we don't actually have him on the field.
I was going to say, and to give Jerry his credit, a good chunk of those were actually earned within the last 2 years. Like, it's not just like an Ezekiel Elliott, right? Who can probably count the last time he did that.
He's probably counting him as one.
Oh, he does. I'm just saying that even all of Jerry's bullshit isn't all bullshit this time, because a good chunk of those players actually did those Pro Bowl and All-Pro things within the last 2 years, is what I'm trying to say. So, but, he, as in Jerry Jones, is saying that he's just focusing on getting the team right and doing better than we were at the end of last season. Hard to say when CeeDee Lamb isn't even in the building, but this is what Jerry said. He said, quote, "I'm more about winning the award for best way to win the season than winning the award for showing up at camp with my house in order. I'm worried about ending the season than I am a fast start. I'm all into having that game come out different than the last one that we played. What I will say, when I look at our roster and look at where we are and look at the quality of our coaches, I will say that I like as much or better than any time how we're going to be hanging around the rim."
He says that shit all the time.
So when we get to that game, we can come out with a different result, and I think we're very positioned.
Don't you think he always says that? You know what I mean? Like, I hate saying that.
But
always says that
Jerry
crap.
just basically tripled down on the fact that this team is currently good enough to get there, and that we are hopefully going to not just get there, but take that next step next time we show up, right? Saying you have to be up there and around there to have a better result. A big question, do you think you've got a chance to have better results when we get there? I don't want to sound and be trite about getting there. It is a big deal. And I want you to know, as much as you might criticize me for it, I take a lot of solace in having the 12-win seasons over what we've had the last several years. The fact that we have the personnel and the coaches that we have in camp, I take a lot of solace that we have a chance to go to the playoffs and do better.
And that is Jerry Jones. You know why he loves it? Not because we have a chance to win a Super Bowl as much as it is we staying competitive and he's making more money. That's all he wanted to do. That's what he's getting. That's why he's fine with that.
Hard to push that competitive narrative when your team is 8-8 every other year. The fact that we have been consistently
12-5 3 years in a row.
12-5,
But I also think that, early exits, we have one win those 3 years in the playoffs against the Bucks. Those early exits, 2 from the Niners, 1 from the Packers. I'm just saying that I think that I understand what he's saying. Like Jason Garrett, we had an 8-win year, then we had a 12-win year, then we had a 7-win year, then we had a 11-win year.
Yeah, and Stephen Jones actually chimed in here to say, quote, "No one's more frustrated than we are. As Jerry said, the only thing that matters is that last game." Well, if that's the only thing that matters, well, I guess, are we going to sign any players?
Nope.
To make that go differently? So, anyway, like I said, obviously the consistent questions about the current state of who is or isn't signed, right? It brought Jerry to reminisce a little bit because he pointed out, well, last year was a similar situation, right? Saying this time last year, was it Martin that wasn't here last year? He was kind of joking and said, does that happen? As in players not being out there in camp? Of course it does. Look at all over the league. So I don't flare when it's happening to us. I'm aware of that. I'm aware that we want these guys at camp. Business as usual as far as I'm concerned. I'm used to this. I can live with this.
Again, of course, every year we got to find someone to have a battle with money. And that's what the Joneses don't understand. Every other team usually gets it done a little earlier. Sometimes they get good deals. They actually work good deals. We wait till the last second and then work out a bad deal. Jerry Jones is delusional.
And Jerry said, "I feel confident. If you look at the fundamentals here, we can get back to the shot that we were, and I hope we'll be in better shape." That's January. This is July. No, I don't get bent out of shape over the fact that someone's not here or here at all.
He's talking about old CeeDee Lamb there.
Yeah,
obviously.
and Stephen Jones, again, had to come in and help bailed Daddy-O out of some of the interesting things that he said because he tried to say the party line we've been hearing all offseason. Quote, "We have a very unique situation. We have a quarterback who played at the top of his game last year, second in MVP voting, who can leave at the end of the season. And then we have two players, as in Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb, who can't leave here for 3 years, theoretically. Both of them, rightfully so, believe that they should be the highest paid non-quarterbacks in the league, and I totally respect that. Very difficult situations that we're trying to work through with them. They want to win. They want to put a ring on their finger. They understand the difficult situation we have with a high-priced quarterback going to his second high-priced contract. And we have two other guys that we're trying to work through. It just takes time."
There you go, Stephen Jones giving his double talk.
Yeah, and remember, this is on Thursday. He said at that time that the negotiations are ongoing. He's hoping that they can have success signing players the same way that they signed Trayvon Diggs. Pointed out a few other players, but obviously Trayvon is the one that hops to the top of that list, along with Zach Martin, just because they're in similar contractual situations, right? Throwing it out there again, quote, "We're having great conversations with representatives in terms of CD and Dak. Obviously, Micah's a year removed from where CD is today. I think he wants to go out and show that he's the best non-QB in the league, and I hope he does it. These things take time, and it's certainly not easy." So at least we know that the Micah Parsons discussion can be shelved 100% until next year. Dak and CD are obviously the priorities right now. But Jerry Jones also kept things pretty quiet because remember, while all this was happening, like you said, Jordan Love's deal happened. Tua as well. Jerry Jones basically said, "It is what it is. What I do appreciate is Dak is here and getting going practicing. Some of these guys aren't. That shows you the dedication that Dak has. That's a big deal. In his spot, he's the best leader I've ever seen, and this is why, frankly, he's out here practicing. It's what he signed up to do."
So that sounds like a side shot at CeeDee Lamb.
Absolutely a side shot at CeeDee Lamb, Mr. I'm used to this, Jerry Jones, right? Now, he wouldn't compare Dak and Jordan Love in the sense of what the negotiations or the contract might look like. He just basically said he's excited about Dak's future in Dallas, saying, quote, "I get in trouble when I make comparisons. I'm anxious for Dak to show that he's the best with the Cowboys." And, of course, he was asked, can he really be the best when he's hanging off of this weird year of his contract possibly expiring and you guys still haven't re-signed him? Jerry said yes. That implies that he won't get a new deal, and that's not the case. Those things change every day, and it can happen. Stephen Jones also confirmed that, again, this was Thursday, that a new offer was made to CeeDee Lamb, and then reiterated that on Friday as well.
Yeah, I think that came actually, if I'm not mistaken, I remember hearing his quote about the exact same thing. I think that was on Fan Appreciation Day on Saturday. I'm not sure if that part of the quote sounded like it was from Saturday.
Are you sure? At least here it says Friday.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, I know Saturday he said...
Maybe he said it Saturday,
at Fan
but it was
Appreciation,
implied Friday?
He actually went to... He after his Fan Appreciation thing, the cheerleaders and the thing, he got the little trophy from Oxnard.
Okay, so
after all that, he got interviewed by...
Yeah, so I see there. So like I said, he said it on Saturday, but he's saying that the last offer was sent out on Friday. Like
right,
I said,
okay,
that's where that bit of confusion comes out. So you're right. It was Fan Appreciation Day that we, the fans, found out this happened. And actually it was confirmed it wasn't just CeeDee Lamb. Apparently Dak Prescott also got a fresh new offer that Friday, right? Stephen Jones saying, "Right now, I would characterize both conversations as upbeat. We're having good talks back and forth with both Todd France and Tory Dandy, and I like where we stand." So
again, they have sent out new deals for Dak and his contract extension. They sent out a new deal for CeeDee Lamb and his contract extension. So just so everyone knows, officially they've done more. They were probably it was probably like CeeDee was getting 28 before this, and Dak was getting like 45. And, I'm just making a joke here, but the Jones is always low ball, and we're in training camp, and they finally sent out something a little less low ball. You know what I mean? Yeah. So how effective is that going to be? Who knows?
And the final Jones's comment that's relevant here, guys. This man,
no McCarthy.
Honestly, he mainly just spoke about the players and a few other things, but the Joneses definitely dominated that discussion. I have to be honest, I kind of like the fact that we haven't heard as much from McCarthy. He did have a lot of praise for Overshown, though. Yeah, that was the biggest thing that stuck out to me.
And Overshown looking good out there.
Very impressed by Overshown early on. Outside of that, though, this bothered me a lot. Jerry Jones said that he anticipates a lot of ramifications on the salary cap to increase in future years because of the NFL Sunday Ticket lawsuit. Said straight up, quote, "It has to be considered. It doesn't make me flare, but it's a fact. I think I know better than anybody of what the cap will be in 4 years from now."
Now, again, I want to reiterate something here. These things do not make sense. They're not the same thing. Yes, I know they got to pay back some money. The cap is still the cap. Salary cap is so. So you got to pay $200 million there, Jerry. Ain't gonna touch. That's not even hurt him. But he's gonna have to pay 200. Every owner has to pay $200 million or whatever it is back to in the billions of dollars that the league owes. And the Joneses are going to use that loss by the NFL to say, "Oh, we can't pay players." Bullshit.
Yeah, more of our cap money has to go back to unscrewing the fans that we screwed in the first place.
And I do want to make sure that I know you're making a joke, but some people will believe, "Oh, that's why we can't pay players." You said it's a sarcastic comment you're making because the salary cap has nothing to do with the Joneses or any owner having to pay back their NFL Sunday Ticket. Devious tricks that they pulled on the fans. That does not. They have to pay it back. That's out of their own pocket. It does not affect Dak or anybody's contract. I want to make sure that is clear because some people will hear that and say, "See, that's why they can't." No, nothing to do.
Yeah. Also, Jerry is worried
that's only $250 million. It's very little compared to what they're going to pay. For this situation with the Sunday Ticket.
Yeah, and Jerry's worried about the cap 4 years from now.
Didn't he
4 years from now.
Didn't he say when he said he's going to go all in this year? I know he changed it up, but he still said it was going to be not worrying about the cap in the future.
Well, I can't go all in this year because in 4 years, the cap might be a few $1 million less than I anticipated. And, well, what will we do then? So, like I said, let's go ahead and close the book on the clown show there.
I'm always ready to do that.
And last but not least, our players did speak. Now, I'm not going to touch on every single player comment. We did have quite a few players speaking, especially considering how heavy our Dallas Cowboy media presence is. But I'm going to touch on the most important ones, the main ones, and who's the main man right now other than Micah Parsons, especially with, the leadership that we're kind of hoping he continues to display. Like, I'm just saying, he's being asked to carry a bit of a heavier load, and he had quite a bit to say. On day 2 of practice here, he actually took to the podium and spoke quite a bit. As far as Dan Quinn, obviously moving on to redder and yellower pastures there with Washington, he said, "I think it's still going to be a very good year without Dan. I was blessed to have Dan for 3 years." Micah Parsons, I already said that.
Oh, I thought it was Dak for some reason because you kept saying the leader. Okay. Yes, because Micah's not looked upon as a leader at all. That's why I got completely confused there.
I said leader of the
defense. I know. I heard leader and getting his leadership skills up. So, anyways, go ahead, Micah. Yes, I'm sorry about that. I want to make sure I get the right, graphic on the screen.
So let me restate that.
Yes, there you go.
So what he had to say as far as Dan Quinn going to the Washington Commanders, "I think it's still going to be a very good year without Dan. I was blessed to have Dan for 3 years. He still checks in on me, and I still feel like he's my big uncle, someone I love dearly. But at the end of the day, I have a job to do, and it's to kick his ass twice a year. We can hug afterwards."
Yeah.
As far as the addition of Mike Zimmer, he said, "So far, all of our conversations have been very great, very open, and very transparent. What positions he wants me to be in. I think his coaching has been fabulous. His scheme has been amazing, and I'm actually very excited to be in his scheme. That was definitely a blessing that we got Zimmer and that he decided to come back." So, very, singing a different tune there than the OTAs there, Micah. So, obviously, whatever it was that he wasn't quite clicking on, sounds like it's clicking.
Yeah.
Which is good.
That's great.
So, as far as the unfortunate last time that he was on the NFL football field in any official capacity, right, that loss to Green Bay, still hurts. Micah said, quote, "It should motivate you. It's bad to just throw games away, and I think it's a little bit delusional. It's more that you should be happy that game happened. You should know what failure feels like and embrace that failure. That's what makes you stronger. You think about anything that's ever hurt you in life. This is what it is. I accept it. How do I never make this happen again? That's what champions do, and that's what winners do. I embrace the loss. I wholeheartedly open and admit to that loss. I use that in my training. When we're down in deep waters and no one is looking around, you have to train yourself and remember What's your why, and why are you doing this? When you're training hard and you're tired, you think about that loss, and you think about those times when you were tired and you wish you could have given more. That's what those losses and those failures do for you, and you have to embrace them into your training and into your season. I will have Matt LaFleur's picture in my locker if I could. I can't wait to see LaFleur again. That's the type of motivation you should have when you take a loss like that. I take every loss personally. Hey, that is everything you would want to hear and then some from someone who got their ass beat the way we did against Green Bay. Yeah, hopefully it produces results, though. Yeah. Let's make that clear.
And listen, he definitely... I really love the fact that his kind of tune has changed a little bit with the Zimmer connection, you know? So it is improving, I guess you can say.
Yeah. So as far as the contract talks, I know we already just heard Jerry and Steven basically admit that is someone else's problem next year.
Micah's not going to be looked on for this year.
Micah Parsons said, quote, "To be honest with you, I always tell you guys, the contract stuff will always take care of itself. Winning games is what I need to take care of. I'm focused on winning games and making plays, getting sacks. Jerry can meet up with the agent later. They can handle all the other stuff. I'm on my first deal, and I know I have 2 years left here, so I'm going to try to maximize those as much as possible." Again, Micah knows where his place in the line is, and he knows it's not right now. So, as far as if he wants to spend his entire career here with Dallas, he says, quote, "I think when you talk about career legacy, I don't think there's a better career you can have than when you're playing for the Star and have a chance to be the best with the Star and retire as a Cowboy. You look at Witten, you look at Michael Irvin, you look at Emmett, you see that they're still in the community and still active. The Star holds so much weight and the legacy it brings, it's nothing like wearing the Star when you do it the right way. In terms of being here, I want to be here my whole life. I plan on building a house here and being in Dallas forever. I love this city. I love the community. I love what it stands for."
For now, he's all in on the Cowboys, but we'll see what happens when the contract talks heat up next year.
I know.
With Micah.
It'll be interesting to see. So, again, thank you so much, Micah Parsons, for speaking your mind, and fingers crossed that connection with you and Zimmer continues to blossom.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I thought Dak had spoke, too. I wasn't sure if...
He did.
Oh, okay. Okay.
My goodness.
I'm just ready for Dak's contract.
I know. Before we get there,
I'm sorry. I'll calm down.
I have a quick little blurb from Zeke, and I'm bringing this up just because obviously he's coming back a different man now, and he acknowledges that he feels like he has some unfinished business, right, still left here in Dallas. Saying right now the focus is having as much fun as I can. I don't know how many more of these I'll have, and just take advantage of being here and living in the moment. The shelf life of NFL players is 3 years. Every snap, every year, one more year that I get is a blessing. And I mean just being out here with these guys. So, again, he knows that his role is a little bit different now, saying just me kind of transforming from more of a lead by example to becoming more of a vocal leader. From 2016 to now, I've played 100 games, 1,500 more touches, and however many more touchdowns and yards. I do have a lot more experience, and I have a lot more to offer, doing whatever I can to help bring these younger guys along. I think it was important for me to come back because I had unfinished business. I felt like I wanted to come back and be with my guys and take another spin at it. So, again, Zeke's not stupid. He's acknowledging that he's coming here a different Zeke in a different situation. And by the way, take it easy. Have a great night, AZ. Appreciate that. And shout out to everybody here. I promise you, we're getting towards the end here, wrapping things up. Like I said, I just appreciate that Zeke acknowledges that he is here for a different reason and a different
role.
Purpose.
Also, a lot less money.
Yes.
Which will tell him a lot.
Now, before we get to Dak Prescott, one quick comment from Brandon Cooks, because he was asked about the importance of training camp, especially when it comes to CeeDee Lamb not being there. He said, "He's the best receiver in the league for a reason. I played with a guy named Aaron Donald, who, if I'm not mistaken, didn't come to camp 3 years in a row and won Defensive Player of the Year. And CeeDee's that good as a receiver."
I hear what Brandon Cooks is saying, and I'm not worried about that either. The connection with Dak has always been fantastic, and they practice a lot in the offseason.
It's not even CeeDee's personal abilities that I worry about. It's the general offensive flow, and how long will it take to get there without him there to kind of,
But I think that with
it all together.
When he's there, he's going to help. He's going to help the other guys even more. Right now, they're getting the worst, like the toughest coverage against them, right? Because there's no CeeDee Lamb to take the pressure off. When CeeDee Lamb gets there, it's kind of like in a game when you have CeeDee Lamb, he's gonna help you out. He's gonna give you a relief by having the best coverage guys on him. Now the best coverage guy is on Brandon Cooks or even like Tolbert or something, right? When CeeDee's back, it's going to be an instant boost, I think, to the entire offense. And he's a pro. He's also been practicing with Dak for months and months. So the connection has been there for years and years.
Yeah.
Since it's with Dak. So I have no worry about that. I agree with Brandon Cooks' comment there.
And now Ray and Dakota Prescott.
Is this the finale?
Yes, it is. And again, he obviously spoke a little bit more. I'm really only going to touch on the one thing that we're really here to talk about, which is the contract-related stuff. When he was asked, do you expect to be the Dallas Cowboy quarterback beyond this season? He said, I'm just here so I don't get fined. Thank you, Marshawn Lynch, for giving us probably one of the best football commentary lines of all time.
Yes, Dak just used it.
But obviously, he went into a little bit more with that. But he also he was talking directly to us fans here, right? He said, to the fans who are maybe still frustrated about the way that the last season went, he said, be fans or don't be fans. If you're a fan, you're going to turn the page just as we do. You're going to move forward, understanding that you have better ahead of you. Sorry, obviously, but it hurt us more than it did them. Obviously, it's on us to get back and do better, but yeah, move on. So, there you go. Basically calling out Cowboys Nation for not knowing how to move on. So, and yes, he basically refused to get into the contract discussion. That's why that I'm just here so I don't get fined comment was the only one I read in relation to that, because he basically said a bunch of nothing. Although people are saying that based on the things that he is not saying, that it seems like he has a healthy mindset as far as maybe not being here next year. That he's not like outright saying it, but it's almost implied that he's embracing the fact that that's a reality. Does that make sense? Yeah. And honestly, similar to what Micah said, what other players have said, this isn't really in Dak's hands, right? Dak told his agent what he's willing to sign for. The Joneses have clearly not met that threshold just yet, so we'll see. And I think we can all agree that whatever extension does or does not come Dak's way, we're not looking at some 4, 5, 6 year whoop-de-doo, right? We are looking at what's very likely a shorter extension. So I think Dak just understands that he needs to make shit happen if he wants to remain a Dallas Cowboy as well. So that comment about the fans, though, made me laugh. I'm not going to lie. Him calling out, that's what I'm saying. Him calling out the fans directly, even in a small way like that lets me know, Dak, you really had it with the Cowboys Nation, haven't you?
Oh, as we like to say here, Cowboys-Family.
Of course. So, but the family would never. We would never be the obnoxious ones.
No, of course not.
With that said, though, guys, that does, bring us at least on my portion to the end of the commentary side of things. We heard from the Joneses, we heard from our players. You guys saw and heard about our 4 practices that went by, so hopefully we got you all caught up. I will say this, though, since we're at the finale here, we're also at the finale of a 2-week span, where I think we only had like 3 streams, so that's enough to crown a champion. So right now, guys, officially, at least we have, listen, I'm going to say this. The membership total, I guess you could say, is the closest battle right now, because it's basically Skeptical Fan against the world. Skeptical Fan looks like he's going to win that and break the streak from old Jet Li, Jason Renfro, Jet Li 44, who needed 4 to pass Skeptical Fan when it came to gifted memberships. And over the last 2 weeks, it is Skeptical Fan that looks like he's breaking that streak. So now, Skeptical, who kicked it off on the membership side of things as the dominator for 3 months here. The first 3 months we had this. Big shout-outs to Skeptical Fan for being the winner there. And big shout-outs to Jet Li 44 for his 9 out of 10 straight weeks of domination on the gifting board and the gifting side. A great way to help out the channel. And then Marco Seppian holding it down with Tyler Smith, 73 points. Much love to the man from Hawaii, Mr. Marco Seppian, who came up there in the top 5, I think, on our leaderboard. And, of course, when it comes to the leaderboard, the overall leaderboard, and the king of the Cash App, it is Mr. LC Lincoln Kane, who did it back-to-back, like our 90s Cowboys, not just as a sponsor week, but up there as the Cash App King. Guess what? He did it now for a 3-peat. 3 weeks in a row, Lincoln Kane, the Cash App King and the sponsor of the week.
he's packing in some of those bonus raffle entries for next week. Next Sunday, probably we'll be doing that raffle for the jersey, sewn and stitched. You know how it goes here at MCF, of any of the choices that are available here. So on that note, it looks like we are all caught up. Let's do the, I guess, the final shout-outs in the chat.
We have Cam from AZ, have a great night. Asmodeus, much love. Of course, the man Seabass himself. Jamar Charles representing. We have Kenzie Bands in the house. Remy Solis, much love. Burn Bar, gang. You know. Asmodeus, what's up? Texas Cat, I agree. Health is the #1 priority. Stay healthy from here on out, Cowboys.
And unfortunately,
right?
we got one down here with Sam Williams.
Revelation Journalist, have a great night. You see, that's actually as far back as the stream lets me go here on the chat side of things. But I know we had obviously a skeptical fan in the house. A shout out to SCO971 as well for dropping the love here earlier.
Yeah, Dwayne Broussard with the thanks as well. Thank you guys for dropping the love. Skeptical giving some love in the gifting side. Yeah, so big shout outs to you guys. And on the After Dark side as well. All you guys that dropped the love there. All you guys are back in the memberships as we get heating up towards the regular season. Can't wait to see how the Cowboys, again, I just want to remind everybody, tomorrow the Cowboys don't have a practice. It's an off day, so no video, no real info. There might be a signing. Maybe we get CeeDee Lamb. But right now, nothing on the horizon when it comes to news, info, or updates. So we're probably not going to go live tomorrow. We'll definitely be back. Again, we're gonna have a schedule set up, guys. It'll probably be Mondays and Fridays.
You'll hopefully see our official new schedule.
Yeah, but even if it's not really right now. We can still kind of move it around. It's gonna be more for the regular season. So we'll get you guys caught up on that and more sooner here. So on that note, though, it is time to move on for the week and the night, and say a big thank you to everybody watching this here and on the replay, hitting that like, subscribe, notification bell, and baby, let them know why do we do this here. My Cowboys family. Why do we do this for over 7 years, into our 8th year here on YouTube? Why do we do this almost every single night?
Well, it is that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly, we always rep that star over everything. And here at My Cowboys Family, like I said, for into our 8th year, never forget the #1 thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys! You see my shirt. Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for dropping the comments and the knowledge in the chat all night long. And thank you guys for those that dropped the love from above and part of the channel on the membership side and on, the After Dark side. Appreciate you all. Congrats to the champions once again. And, hey, we're going to have a winner next week on the jersey side. Someone's going to win a jersey. We'll see who it is in that monthly raffle we do here. On that note, though, it is time to get out of here, clock out and drop out for the night, relock and reload for a new week, but, still in that training camp mode, and the pads are coming on probably on Tuesday or Wednesday, so get ready, guys. The hits are going to be coming. Hopefully, knock on wood, no more injuries. Thank you all for rocking with us here. Back probably Tuesday or Wednesday soon, and we'll give you some updates on our side of things when it comes to schedule change on My Cowboys Family after over 7 years on YouTube. But on that note, it is time to drop out and clock out for the night. Baby, before we can say goodnight and drop out of here for the stream, what do we got to do?
We got to drop the beat.
And it's a wrap right here on My Cowboys Family. Thank you all for joining us here, watching the replay. As always, going through a whole day, I would say 4 days of news, info, and updates right here for another MCF Cowboys chat, baby. You know how we do. So with some of you guys on the After Dark sessions, so we might be out there tonight, so keep your eyes peeled for that. We talked about all these situations and beyond, right? Whether it's CeeDee Lamb and his contract, Dak, and the Trey Lance, performances, Deron Bland's interceptions and domination out there, along with some of the rookies coming with some picks and playing well. And, of course, today the loss of Sam Williams. Big loss to the Cowboy defensive edge pass rushing rotation. Now, is he officially a bust? And someone riddled me that, because now he's going to be in his 4th year next year off an injury. Here in MCF, it's about the 3 main things: that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Never forget the #1 thing right here in this channel, right here. My Cowboys family. Never forget the number one thing. Much love to all of you guys in the house for watching, hitting that like, subscribing to the channel. Almost at 40,000 family members here. So hit that notification bell to all videos. So you see our uploads, our video uploads, our shorts, and of course these live streams. You can also check with us on Discord and follow us there, as well as X and Twitter at MyCowboysFamily. And those watching the replay, leave a comment down below. Thank you all again. Stay safe. We'll see you soon. Keep your eyes peeled on training camp and all the videos coming out right here from My Cowboys Family. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe. Peace. And never, ever forget, Go Cowboys!